Well, this is one of those days that I kind of had to pinch myself a couple of times because Romain Grosjean and Jimmie Johnson took their rookie orientation Indianapolis 500 practice days today, or day today, I should say. Now, neither driver completed the rookie orientation, and I want to be very clear that while rookie orientation, it seems like a simple process, it isn't. And in the past, drivers have struggled with this. I kind of point to and look no further than Fernando Alonso here a couple of years ago was unable to get through his refresher test, which is similar to the rookie orientation. Romain Grosjean was 2 laps away from completing all 3 phases of the rookie orientation process. Jimmie Johnson was 10. Now, the rookie orientation process here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, quite frankly, a lot of people make fun of it, but I think it's something that should be implemented at all high-speed ovals because I think it really helps drivers get into the groove of racing at these types of tracks. Now, Phase 1, which both drivers completed today, is a show of ability to complete 10 laps between 205 and 210 miles an hour. Phase 2, which again both drivers completed, is 15 laps at over 210 to 215 miles an hour. And then Phase 3, which neither driver completed today, is 15 laps over 215 miles an hour. And then obviously, again, it is beginning to bucket down rain right here. But had the drivers completed their orientation process, they would have been allowed to go into free practice and run as many laps as fast as they would have wanted to. But unfortunately, the weather here in Indiana did not allow that to happen. Now, I did get a couple of interviews today. Unfortunately, we did not see the lettuce man, Romain Grosjean. He got out of Dodge, and I don't blame him. Who wants to be in this weather? But we did talk to a couple of folks over on the GANASSI side of things. Now, again, like I mentioned, Jimmie Johnson did not complete rookie orientation today, but this is what he had to say about it.
Yeah, I'm certainly not trimmed all the way out in Q pace and Q power, but in working through the stages and trimming the car out and doing the changes that we made, it's amazing how important turns 1 and 3 are for your total lap time.
And what are the feelings coming here knowing that you're going to drive on the oval compared to coming here in May knowing you're going to be on the road course? Is it a little different coming here knowing that this is kind of a boyhood dream of yours?
Yeah, definitely a different kind of excitement. And then oddly enough, after driving the car in Texas and getting a sense of the ovals, I came here with more optimism than I did showing up going the other direction on the road course.
Is there anything of the day that surprised you?
I would say just once, now that I'm up to speed, just how familiar it is. And I found that same thing at Texas. There are plenty of things that are different, but when you really strip it down, the experience driving the car, what you're supposed to feel and sense as a driver, there are a lot of similarities between the Cup car and the Indy car, except just going 50 miles an hour faster in one of these.
Now, we also spoke to 3-time Indianapolis 500 winning driver Dario Franchitti. And I think Dario brings a unique perspective. Obviously, not only does he win, or has he won the Indianapolis 500, but he's also a driver who has done the transition between stock cars and Indy cars on high-speed ovals. So listen to what the master has to say, because I think Dario gives some really great insight. You are in a unique position here, because not only are you a 3-time winner on this racetrack in the Indianapolis 500, but you have also done the transition from IndyCar to NASCAR. How do you rate your driver's performance, Jimmie Johnson, over not only today, but also at Texas Motor Speedway? How's that progression been going?
At Texas, he was really comfortable very, very quickly. And that was an odd test because the test started at 6 a.m. So it was literally dark, and then as the test went on, the conditions got a bit worse. It heated up a bit, but he was great from right from the start. He was comfortable. At one point, a little too comfortable. We had to kind of rein him in a bit, but his feeling for the car, his feeling for what was going on, his adapting to the speed was first class. And we saw the same today. He adapted very, very quickly, but I think today he was more controlled and more consistent with what was going on.
So is that the key to being a good driver at this track in these type of cars, is just that, mindset?
No, I think at this stage, yes. You've got to be controlled, you've got to be obviously consistent, and then you start working on getting yourself up close to the limit of the car, which I think he did on the downforce levels he was running. But then as his downforce starts to come out, as the track heats up, the car starts sliding around a bit more, then you've got to have more knowledge, and we're just trying to build his knowledge right now of an Indy car. Clearly, he's got a lot of knowledge on what a stock car feels like around here.
So what type, or how is the type of racing different, or how could you describe the type of racing versus a stock car around here or an Indy car?
It's just what the cars are capable of. Not one is not easier to drive than the other. The stock cars are a lot slower around here, but it doesn't mean it's easier to drive. It's different to drive. And Jimmie said his first warm-up lap this morning was the fastest he'd ever been around here. And it's just a different feeling, it's a different mindset to a degree, and he's just getting used to all that while trying to forget that whole other life. And I think that's as hard to forget something you've been very successful at and all those feelings that you had in the car as it is to learn something new.
And obviously NASCAR runs a lot of 500-mile races. Does that mindset transfer from a stock car 500-mile race versus an IndyCar 500-mile race, or is it very, very different?
No, I'm not sure it's different. Indy's special, I think, because you get one chance at it a year. I think that's what makes it so special. And there's so much testing that goes along. That's maybe the different mindset, is the fact you're here for over a week testing and perfecting the car, and that's something. If Jimmie chooses to come back for the 500 next year, he's going to learn the ups and downs of the month of May here in Indianapolis.
So again, an interesting day here. A day that really I think a lot of us would look probably, even a year ago and say, okay, could you have even believed that we would be talking about, even one of these drivers, much less two drivers, like of the caliber of Jimmie Johnson and Romain Grosjean, and the diverse nature of the disciplines that these drivers have had to accomplish within their careers. Formula One driver in 2020 and a NASCAR Cup Series driver, not only a NASCAR Cup Series driver, but a 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. This is the equivalent, and this isn't hyperbole, this is literally the equivalent of a Dale Earnhardt or Richard Petty coming to do the Indianapolis 500. And while Jimmie was non-committal on whether he wants to do the 500 next year, you don't do the rookie orientation process for the Indianapolis 500 if you don't have intentions of running here. It was interesting as well to see Carvana on the side of Jimmie Johnson's car. I think, obviously that would have been the suspicion if you had asked me what's going to be on the side of Jimmie Johnson's car at the rookie orientation practice. Probably Carvana, but it was cool to see that confirmed today. Romain Grosjean actually had a slightly different livery than what we've seen with Ryan Hunter-Reay at DHL. At a distance, it's not going to look much different, but they did add a couple of yellow stripes. But at the end of the day, again, I said this at the beginning, I almost had to pinch myself a couple of times because I had to remind myself, because these drivers really did look quite good, I have to say. Both Jimmie and Romain, they do look like they're going to be able to compete here and be competitive here when we get back to May of 2022. But it's Jimmie Johnson and Romain Grosjean on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These drivers are here with aspirations to compete in the Indianapolis 500. And I'll be damned, there's Romain Grosjean right there. Maybe we'll get an interview with him, and maybe I'll add it into this later on in the video. So, your first day with Andretti Autosport, your second time on an oval. Tell me how it went.
Yeah, it was a very exciting day for obviously a few reasons. First time in Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and first time with Andretti Autosport. So I was very much looking forward to it, discovering a super speedway and discovering the team. And all in all, I think it was a very good day. I enjoyed driving the car. I enjoy working with the guys. They've been super helpful in getting me up to speed. The weather was playing with our nerves, but we went out there and we actually did a good job when we had to.
So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video.